What's up, YouTube? Mr. LMSC here, and today we're going to be talking about boning on your Necromancer. So, let's jump on over to our character right here. We are going to be discussing all of the fun of a Bonemancer from the very beginning stages when you're early levels to your later levels when you're starting to get really good gear, right? How to skill along the way, where you want to put your stats, what sorts of items you want to be looking for, all of the good fun. So let's jump in to first the skill build, right? How will we be building this character as we move along? The first thing is teeth. Teeth are just a fantastic early game skill. Act 1, Act 2, even Act 3. If you just have a lot of points into teeth, you can actually clear a lot of stuff. So if you're just dumping all of the points that you get early on into teeth, you'll be pretty crushing, and you'll be able to handle those Act 1, Act 2, Act 3 monsters. Remember, this character is not going to be the fastest character in the game, but he is decently strong, and you have to remember that these skills are magic damage, okay? So if I put this on, you can see magic damage. It looks like cold damage. That's just, they didn't have enough colors in Diablo 2. And so this is teeth, which is magic damage, so you're not going to run into a lot of immunities at all, which is a nice thing about this build. Now, additionally, once you've got your teeth going, and eventually when you get to 18, you're going to want to get points into Bone Spear. Bone Spear is going to take over as your damage dealer, as teeth is going to really start to wear out in the middle stages of normal Act 3. So getting into Bone Spear will really start to boost your damage up again. It is going to narrow the range, but it has that pierce on it, so you just need to really position yourself to line monsters up and Bone Spear them down. That's always very effective. Another thing with this character is Corpse Explosion is very fantastic to be grabbing along the way. So as you're putting points in your Bone Spear, having a few points in Corpse Explosion can be very helpful to just blow up a lot of monsters. You use your Bone Spear to knock down that first monster and then Corpse Explode everything around it. This will be especially helpful once you get a few more plus to skills, once you get into Nightmare, all of that stuff, right? Now, additionally, you're going to want to start looking over at your Bone Prison once you get into that mid-20s, early 30s area, as once again, this is just a classic, easy way to always get yourself into a situation where you can just save yourself. You just cast a bunch of Bone Prisons. It will have a large aggro, but then you just lock everything in, and you can lock yourself in. And then you just cast your teeth. And just like that, you're good to go. Let's see if we can get a portal and go home. Nope, not going to let us. That's fine. So, yes, there are a couple things I'll go through it. Ghost will go through the prison. That's your biggest worry. Otherwise, maybe like one other monster can go through the prison. Otherwise, everything else will stay inside of the prisons, and so it's very nice and a very safe way to play, just boning the world, putting everything into prison, right? So this will be, and once again, you'll also notice Bone Wall and Bone Prison are synergies to Bone Spear. They are also synergies to Bone Armor, and actually give a better boost to Bone Armor than additional points in Bone Armor do. So if you're ever debating between putting a point in Bone Armor or Bone Wall or Bone Prison, put it in Bone Wall or Bone Prison instead, because it will not only improve your Bone Spear, but also your Bone Armor better than a skill in Bone Armor will. This is just some weird oversight that they had when making the game, right? So here you will be maxing teeth, getting 1 point in Golem Mastery, and Summon Resist if you want that, just to help boost your Golem summon. That's totally fine. You don't have to get those points. I like having a Clay Golem just for like a little bit of safety here and there. If you want to get a point in Amp Damage for your Corpse Explosion, you can go ahead and do that as well. That's a very easy cast Amp Damage before you use Corpse Explosion. It's half physical damage, so that damage will be magnified and do more to the monsters. Other than that, I really wouldn't get any of these other ones, except maybe Decrepify if I really wanted to go around and slow things. Or maybe Dim Vision. I mean, I guess this is where it comes down to personal preference. So Decrepify and Dim Vision and Confuse, I could see being 3 that some people might want to get, right? But your main stuff is going to be maxing out Teeth, maxing out Bone Spear. And then you can see you have the 4 synergies of Bone Spirit, which is a better single target. So this is better against like Bale, but otherwise it's not really going to be used that much. Bone Prison and Bone Wall, right? So pretty much in that order is going to be how you're going to be maxing these skills. And like I said, having a couple points in Corpse Explosion is never a bad idea. Increasing that radius is always super nice. And then getting, you know, okay, I want here, I want to get that. Like, you know, you can get a couple points spread around. All of that is up to you. Just give you some ideas of how you want to spend your skills. But ultimately, this gets you a very, very powerful build where you can just go along and shoot off your spears. And like I said, it's a lot of it really comes down to lining up monsters if you can, if you want to, right? You can get them kind of chasing all together sometimes. And then it's a great like shoot back, right, when they're all chasing. Line them up. And then you just kill more stuff. So the better that you get at that, the more you will be able to kill, which is super nice. Ignore my gear for now. This is not the gear that you'll have on, right? So that right there is your skills. As for your stats, you're going to have enough strength to wear the gear, and everything else will go into vitality. Okay, simple as that. I don't think there's any necro build where I ever want to go max block, points in energy. Don't really need those. Along the way, once again, before your final respec, you might want to put a few points in energy just to help yourself out with the Corpse Explosion mana cost, with the Bone Spear mana cost, and all of that, because this is a mana-intensive character. But eventually, you're not really going to want to have any points in energy. So, in terms of gear, what are we going to be looking for, right? The first thing I would say is Hodo is always just an easy... if you want to get a Hodo, that's just simple. +3 to all skills, 40 FCR, and all res on it. It's really hard to beat that. It's just super solid. This isn't the highest damage character, or weapon, but it is a very good safety and strong weapon with good FCR on it, which is super nice. Remember, your FCR frames are 30 FCR, 48 FCR, and 75 and 125. Those are going to be your 4 main breakpoints that you're going to be looking for. So getting the 40 FCR from Hodo might be useful in getting you to that 125 or 75, whatever it is, and you might consider that. Right? So that's an idea. Additionally, Dole IO. Not IO Dole. Dole IO into a wand can make a white wand. And of course, you can also get this wand with +3 to Bone Spear on it first, and then you can put the Dole IO in it. That requires a little bit more shopping or finding it or whatever it is. You can always find this at Act 2 Drognin, just running back in and out of the town, resetting him and looking at the wands. And you're just looking for a bone wand, because that'll be 2 open sockets. A bone wand that has +3 to Bone Spear on it, white or socketed with 2 open sockets. And that's fantastic. And you can see already right here, it's +5 to Bone Spear. That's without any of the bonus skills. So you can get all the way up to +8 to Bone Spear on a white wand, which is fantastic. You also get the +3 to P and B skills, which then is going to be beneficial to, you know, your Corpse Explosion and your Bone Spear and Bone Prison, all that stuff. But this is a very, very, very good and easy wand. You can get these runes from Nightmare Countess. IO rune might take a little bit. It's only like a 4% chance to drop. But it's a very solid wand. I mean, this character instantly becomes so much stronger when you have this on it. So I would definitely say White Wand is your like go-to when you get to Nightmare. Go shop, go farm Nightmare Countess for a couple hours until you get Io, Dull, and Io, and put them in that order for your White Wand. Other wands, of course, you can get, just wands that have plus to skills on them, 2 to necro skills on a Graven Spine. All of that stuff is fine. But I still think White Wand is always going to be the best choice really here, unless you want to get something really survivable like a Hodo. Now, additionally, Shaco, once again, just another classic. You get skills, life, mana, DR, MF. I mean, it's just so good. But you could go ahead and, let's say you don't have a Shaco yet, get yourself a Lore Helm, right? Get yourself a plus to necro skills helm circlet with FCR on it, right? A plus 220 FCR. That could be really nice. Once again, helping you meet those faster cast rate breakpoints that we were talking about a little bit earlier. Armor, Enigma, obviously a fantastic choice. But once again, will we always have Enigma? No. Q-Hagen's is great. Viper Magi is great. Spirit Shroud is totally fine. Stealth Armor, Tal Eth, fantastic for early on and can carry you through a lot of the game. If you just need more survivability, get yourself something like a Smoke, right? There's so many really nice things that you can grab along the way to help out. So I would highly recommend looking for, just plus to skills, plus to FCR, armors, and if it has FRW, FHR like stealth, that's an added bonus. Those are really nice as well. In terms of shields, once again, Spirit, especially a 35 FCR Spirit would be fantastic. That can help you reach that 75 or 125 breakpoint. A Necro Head with skills on it. So there you go. Trang's Helm has some skills on it. Bone Flame's got skills on it. Dark Force Spawn has skills on it. Homunculus has skills on it. Spirit's got skills. All of those are super great. If you just get, a Necro Head that just has +3 to Bone Spear and it's white, you can take that, get it socketed. It'll always get 2 open sockets. And then you can put Shale Eth in that, make yourself a Rhyme Shield. There you go. You've got +3 to Bone Spear or Corpse Explosion, whatever you want. And then additionally, you can have your 25 All Res, your Magic Find, your Cannot Be Frozen. Rhyme is a fantastic shield. Ancient's Pledge is a great shield. And you get those runes, Ral or Tal, from Q-Hagen in Act 5. And so, wait, is that... Oh, hey, is that his? I didn't think about that. Wow. Oh, Qual Keck. I was like, that's his name's not Q-Hagen, right? Thank you. Qual Keck. So he will give you Ralort Tal. I had to go check because I was like, that doesn't seem right. But it's a Q name. So you can get your runes from him and make that in a large shield, in a kite shield, whatever you want. And that's a nice, just good resistant shield to start you off. And can carry you pretty far. In terms of amulets, Mara's obviously a classic, great one. A +2 Necro or +1 Necro with 10 FCR would be a fantastic one. Once again, getting to the breakpoints. Anything with plus to skills, resistances, life, FCR, mix and match, those sorts of things. Strength. All of that as you go along the way will be very helpful. So that would be like the, best choice right there. But, if there's some other thing that you find along the way to use, then use that, right? Not everybody has Mars. In terms of gloves, Trang's gloves are really going to be the glove for this character. It's not crazy hard to find them. Until then, Mage Fist are nice. Frost Burns can be okay. If you want MF, you can get the Chances, you can get those sorts of things. But if not, plus to life, plus to strength, plus to res, your standard gloves always work. Your rings, SOJ or BK rings, will both be classic. However, once again, some FCR rings with some resistances, with some plus to strength on them, whatever it is that you find along the way can be very helpful. So definitely look for these if you don't have SOJs or BK rings and can't get the plus to skills. Same idea with like an Arachnid Mesh. The belt itself is really nice with the plus to skill and the FCR, so this is really best in slot. But find yourself some other belts with strength, with life, with res, with hit recovery, you know, whatever it is. You know, even things like a Saigon's belt, right? It's a nice belt. You're going to get some fire res on it, you know, like find yourself any belt that's just going to have some life or res, or a T-Gods or whatever it is. Oh, I found a Dungos. Okay, well, that's got 34 vitality and DR and hit recovery. Put that on. Hisaris belt. That's great belt. You get life cold res, right? Like, whatever along the way. There's so many good belts. So really look around and just see kind of what you find. And there, you know, example are some Mage Fist, and that +1 to fire skills will increase your corpse explosion damage as well. So that's very nice. And then boots, I like Treks a lot. I like Water Walks a lot. I like, I mean, those are two that I really like. But you know what? Maybe you just have to put on some random like rare boots, or you find some War Travs. Strength, Vitality, Fast Run Walk, MF. That's fantastic. You know, whatever you kind of get there. I would just look around for those sorts of different things that give you the strength and vitality and hit recovery and fast run walk. Nats boots are a nice, easy pickup. Marrow walks are not bad boots at all. You know, so really you'll find a lot of different things. Another character that has some options in these slots, but main things you're going to be looking for is hitting your FCR breakpoints, getting a lot of plus to skills, getting good resistance and life, and then faster hit recovery breakpoints can also be good to hit as well. If you have a spirit, you're going to be pretty set. Remember, this is ladder only though, so if not, then you might want to look for things like Treks to help you get there, right? Other than that, trying to think if there's anything really specific for this character. Like I say, you know, you just want to make sure you have enough stats once you have all your gear and charms. Don't forget, if you have a Nihilus, if you have a torch, if you have plus to strength and whatever stuff on your charms, all of that stuff will help. And then you just dump the rest to get into vitality. Just beef up your life as much as you can. CTA and Spirit Shield on your swap will be very nice just for battle orders if you can get there. Yeah, no, we said Homunculus as well. That's also a good shield for this character. So really, that should get your character pretty far right there. And as you're playing through, the big things to focus on are just going to be Bone Spear, Bone Prison, and then making sure you have your bone armor up, because your bone armor literally absorbs physical damage. And so you get 790 additional life if it's physical damage. So whenever you take a couple hits from monsters, just recast your bone armor, and you'll note when you get hit, because your bone armor will start to weaken. You'll lose some of your pieces around it, and so you just put it on again. It's a pretty simple thing, and like I said, use your Bone Prison to save yourself in daring situations, or just to take things slow, right? You can just slowly go through areas, Bone Prison, kill, all of that. And I guess the last thing I should say is go ahead and shop yourself. If you don't have an Enigma and you really want teleport, shop yourself a staff. You can find this anywhere from Act 3 normal and on. You're just going to go and shop for this in the vendors. Drognin and Act 2 Nightmare is probably the easiest. And you just go and shop for teleport charges. Notice how this says charges on it. This is not plus to teleport sorceress only. This is teleport charges. And so you just get those charges, and then you can go and you can have that on your offhand. So whenever you get into a situation you need to teleport, like you're in the jails or something and you're like, oh, I need to go over this wall, you just swap over and teleport. Simple as that. So with that being said, I hope that clears up things for this character. The last thing I would say is for a mercenary, I still wouldn't get Holy Freeze because I like Corpse Explosion a lot. And that makes it so you get less corpses. It's still not terrible, but it's something to consider. Otherwise, I'd go for the Act 2 Might Mercenary once again. Just beef him up, make him pretty tanky, and he can hit and be pretty strong. I know a lot of people like Act 5 Mercenaries as well, so this could be a character to have a good Act 5 Mercenary. So that is my suggestion. I hope that this character plays well for you. It's a pretty strong character. Remember, there's not many immunities. Really, the only issue you're going to have is the Unravelers if you're just playing through the game regularly and not going into like some of the crazy areas. And so Unravelers will be your big issue. But even on like Bale Wave 2, if you amp damage all of them and kill the minions and then Corpse Explode, you should be able to wipe out that whole wave without having any issues. So with that being said, mwah, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed this guide. And if you have any comments or anything, feel free to leave them below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps the channel. Thank you so much. Peace, YouTube.